friends, this is CA Sneha Challa. In this video, we will be talking about Section 61 of Companies Act 2013, which talks about alteration of share capital. So in this section, there are two subsections. So let's get started with subsection 1. So subsection 1 says a company which is a limited company. So a limited company having share capital. So here we are not talking about an unlimited company, and we are only talking about limited company having share capital. So a company which is limited by guarantee, in that also there are two types. They have share capital and they do not have share capital. So we are talking about only a company which is limited company and which also has share capital. So such company may alter, that is change, its capital part of memorandum. So it can change the capital part that is given in the memorandum, provided first it will check that if such power is given in the articles or not. So if the power is given in the articles, then it can change its memorandum, and if the power is not given in the articles to change the capital that is given in the memorandum, so first it will have to change its articles and then it can change its capital given in memorandum. So to alter the articles, then we follow section 14, and to alter memorandum we follow section 13. So whenever such alteration take place, we will call for a meeting of shareholders, and accordingly we can change the capital part of memorandum. So in subsection 1, there are 5 clauses given. So how can a company change its share capital are given in these 5 subclauses, So let's start with the first clause, that is clause A. So it says that increase its authorized capital. So what does that mean? Suppose the authorized capital of my company is 10 lakh rupees, then as per clause A, I can increase my share authorized capital. So I can make it to 15 lakhs, or if I want, I can also make it 20 lakhs. So I can increase it to any amount that I think is fit for my company. So like that, a company can increase its share capital, authorized capital, as in how much it thinks is fit. So now talking about clause B, it talks about consolidate and divide all or any of its share capital into shares of larger amount. Now what does this larger amount mean? Suppose I have a share capital of 5 lakh shares, and each of these shares have a value of rupees 10. So my share capital is 50 lakh rupees. Now, as per clause B, consolidate and divide. So I am consolidating, this is the consolidated amount. This amount I am dividing into a larger amount. So any amount which is larger than rupees 10, I can change it to. So suppose I am taking an amount of rupees 20. So my number of shares will become 2,50,000. So my share capital remains 50 lakhs. So this is how I am changing according to clause B. And it also says provided the percentage of voting does not change. If the percentage of voting changes, then I need the approval of tribunal. So here, suppose I have, in the case 1, suppose I have 50% of the shares. So that means I have 2,50,000 and each is of rupees 10. So I have 25 lakhs value of shares. So I have 50% of the voting rights when it comes to my first case. Now because of the change in share capital, now I will be having 1,25,000 shares, and each share is valued at rupees 20. And here also I again have 25 lakh rupees as my share capital. So here also I have 50% voting rights. So here my change in the percentage of voting rights, it's not there. It is still the same. So in case there is any change in the voting right, then I need tribunal's permission. In this case, I do not need tribunal's permission because the percentage of voting rights remains same. Now talking about clause C. It says convert fully paid shares into cash, into stock, and reconvert into shares of any denomination. So suppose I have the number of shares as 2000 and the amount is rupees 10. So here I have 20,000 as my share capital. Now I am converting this number of shares. I am combining 10 shares into one stock. So I am combining 10 shares and I am making one stock. So here, if 10 shares, each of them is having 10 rupees as value, then each of the stock would be valued at rupees 100, right? So now I will be having a stock of stock of 200 and 200 and each stock value is 100. So my share capital is still 20,000. So here before I was called a shareholder, now I am called a stock owner of the company. So here I am combining few shares into one stock. So a company cannot issue a stock directly because share is the smallest unit of the share capital. So first a company, in order to convert into stock, it will first have to issue its shares and then only it can convert into stock. Now after converting it into stock, then the company can divide this amount into any denomination that it wants to. So this is about clause C, and in clause C it also says that we can only convert fully paid up shares. So if anything is remaining unpaid or uncalled, then it cannot convert such shares into stock. So this is about clause C. Moving on to clause D, it talks about subdivide shares into smaller amount and proportion between paid and unpaid shares should be the same. So suppose, let's take an example. The number of shares I have here is 2,50,000 and each share has a value of rupees 20. So I have 50 lakhs as my share capital. So the first sentence says subdivide shares into smaller amount. So any amount which is lesser than this, so suppose it is rupees 10. So I will have 5 lakh shares and my share capital will still be 50 lakhs. So this is about the first sentence. And talking about the second sentence, proportion between paid and unpaid amount should be the same. So here in the first case, suppose I have 5,000 shares and out of this 20, rupees 10 is still remaining unpaid. So 10. So I still have to pay the company 50,000 rupees. Because of the change from case 1 to case 2, the number of shares I will be having now is 10,000. In 10,000 also, I will still have to pay the company rupees 5. So I still have to pay rupees 50,000 when it comes to case 2. So whenever the share capital is being changed, but the proportion of my uncalled capital or unpaid capital is still remaining the same, because here the amount is increasing and the amount is decreasing and the number of shares are increasing. So it is still the same. So that is about proportion between paid and unpaid should be the same. Now talking about clause E. So clause E says that cancel shares not paid and unpaid. Cancel shares not taken or agreed to be taken. Now what does this mean? Suppose I have issued share capital as 5,000 and out of this only 3,000 have subscribed to my shares. So rest of the 2,000 is still unsubscribed. Yeah. So now I am going to reduce my issued share capital from 5,000 to 3,000. So this is how I am reducing or cancelling the shares which are unpaid or which are not taken. So suppose this is unsubscribed, then it is not taken, or some people are not paying the amount which is called for. Such amount also I can reduce from the share capital. So this is given under clause E. So this is how I am diminishing my share capital with the amount unpaid. So this is about subsection 1. Now moving on to subsection 2. Subsection 2 says whenever you are altering your share capital by cancelling the shares not taken, like this in this case, then it is called reduction. It is called alteration. It is not called as reduction. So in this case, it is called as alteration of share capital. It is not called as reduction of share capital. So this is about section 61 of Companies Act 2013. If you understood this section 61, please like, comment and share the video, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.